I've been in the water business for a long time, and my inspiration for pH prescription started 20 years into it. I've been in the water business probably for about 35 years now, and about 13 years ago, I had developed some health issues, and my health issues led to me actually having a near-death experience. And that really changes the way you think about things. And to people that know me, I'm a third-generation plumber from New Jersey. So I was pretty hard-headed, and I was set in my ways, and it was the way I was taught to be. Until I had that moment of waking up. You know, I don't regret what had happened. It was a heart issue, and I ended up flatlining in the hospital. And I don't regret it because it changed the way I thought. You know, it was an awakening for me to understand that I needed to do something to save myself because all the medication wasn't really helping much. And one of the options in the future for me was a heart transplant. And I didn't want to go down that road. So I decided I'm going to start paying attention and figure out what I can do to help myself. And it was a whole mixture of things. I met several people that were explaining some different new technologies. I ran into an amazing doctor named Dr. Jerry Tennant, and he wrote a book called Healing is Voltage. That's how I found him. And I realized that my heart was deficient in voltage, and I needed to get the voltage up. And I never, ever thought I was going to put it together with water. You know, I thought I was going to be connecting electrodes to my body to do that. And I found out that I could add voltage to water and make water an antioxidant itself. And I thought that was the most far-out thing I've ever heard. And the one part of me said, no, this isn't possible. I can't believe it. Antioxidants come from fruits and vegetables. They can't come from water. But by adding molecular hydrogen to water, it turns the water and makes the water act as an antioxidant itself. And it healed my heart. And I couldn't believe it. I was so floored after I started the process. And this was within 6 months of my near-death experience, that I started getting my life back. I was able to start weaning off my medication. I was starting to be able to do more things. I was being able to jog, run, work out, you name it, things that I couldn't do. And I remember I was only 40 years old when this happened, and I remember checking off things off a list, that this is something I cannot do anymore. And that wasn't like me. In my personality, if you knew me, or if you knew the old Leo Zimborski, I was a fighter, I was a mechanic, I was a kickboxer, I was a weightlifter. I mean, I was pretty much an athlete in all areas. And for me to make that change, it was amazing to get my life back. I had young children. I was always in fear of that I couldn't protect them in the time I may need to, would be at the beach. God forbid if they got sucked out in an undertow, and I can't catch my breath walking down the beach, let alone swimming out to save their lives. So my inspiration for pH prescription clearly was, at first, out of necessity for my own health, and then I realized I could help others. And that was a lot harder said than done, because people were like me and they didn't believe, especially in my industry, that you could turn water into an antioxidant and then it could have healing benefits more than hydration benefits. So that was my inspiration.
This journey starts way back, about 20-some years ago, I'm going to guess. Leo and I started the company, started out as no-brainer, then we've evolved it into other entities, which has now absorbed everything else, and it's now become pH prescription. We have just kind of evolved and continued to grow the business in different directions, different aspects, but always centered around water and trying to make water healthy, make it all natural if possible. We wanted to keep it as organic as possible, and we've just created this long journey that just seems like it's just continuing to grow.
To be endorsed by medical and wellness experts in the health industry has just been probably one of the most amazing things that I could realize. I mean, pH prescription didn't even have a name when we came out with a product. It wasn't even the company that we were at the time. And when I met a few of the doctors that I'm working with locally here in Florida and in Texas and some in Arizona, they really took a liking to what we were doing. They were really excited that we could get the really bad things out, like the heavy metals, fluoride, and some of the really nasty things, including cyst spores and viruses, things that can cause you to be sick instantly. So, you know, like the old saying is, don't drink the water in Mexico, right? So I wouldn't be afraid to drink the water in Mexico if I had one of my filters. You know, I wouldn't be afraid to drink the water out of a lake if I had one of my filters. So knowing that we can do all this and we can do these things right, I started getting the understanding from these medical experts. And some of my first lectures that I gave were in front of a room of doctors. And when I was done, I was the most nervous person, I think, in that room to get on that stage and speak in front of all these people with PhDs and MDs and all kinds of initials behind their name. And I got up there and I spoke about what I knew, and I didn't add to it and I didn't extract from it, and I spoke about what I knew, and I gained their trust over time. I mean, it was unbelievable that they wanted to endorse us or market our products or refer us to their clients. And up until this point in my career, every product that was sold, I was generally involved with that sale. I didn't have to, you know, I didn't have the opportunity. I had a few salespeople working alongside of me, but I was really in charge of almost everything we did. So having pH prescription, Water Doctors Recommend, and that's where the name came from, Water Doctors Recommend, because they started recommending me. We thought that was great, and it was what a unbelievable boost of confidence to be backed by people with such great degrees and such great followings, because they know that our product works, because they have it and they're using it, and then their family has it and their businesses have it. And we had the opportunity to work alongside of them all across this great nation of the United States, and we're in other countries as well with this product with doctors. And so they were our building blocks and the foundation of developing pH prescription and helping me make it what it is today.
My favorite doctor, I believe, would be Dr. Jerry Tennant out of Texas. He works in Synergy Medical Group, and he talks about healing as voltage. And so with our water has a negative charge on it, which is a voltage. And so learning about healing as voltage, it really comes into play with also our water. So they kind of go hand in hand. You're able to charge your cells, charge your body. It's almost like how if you work out, your muscles are getting charged up. So if you're able to do that and charge up your body with, you know, whether it's through the water or the electricity, healing his voltage with his, he has a device called a biomodulator. It really helps get your body working properly. It really helps get the organs firing properly, like the heart.
What sets pH prescription apart from our competition? It's a question I get asked often. You know, why are we different? And you know, a lot of times I really have to think about it, because I don't think about my competition very often. I know that we do what we do the best we can, and we do the full circle. We know just clean water is one part of the process, and there's a lot of clean water companies out there. Just about every water company you'll find in I would say the phone book, but that's old school, online, would be, you know, somebody who's filtering the water or softening the water in the standard of care, we like to call it, you know, and a standard of care is a water softener and an RO drinking system and blah, 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 I would say. We go above and beyond that. You know, with pH prescription, we go after the toxins that most people aren't even talking about. You know, there's pharmaceuticals in our tap water, because 25% of our tap water is recycled wastewater if you live in a metropolitan area or near a city. Most people don't know that. You can look this information up, why there's drugs in our tap water. And it's because people take these drugs and then they pass them out of their bodies down the drain. People still dump drugs down the toilet to get rid of them because they think it's safer. But that was when that started, it was before we were recycling water. There's other things, you know, they talk about drugs, there's fragrances that come from laundry detergents and all that. And then there's, you know, I worked in the automotive industry, and there's brake fluid and there's gasoline and all this other stuff that gets dumped down the drain, and oil. And these things have to be filtered out at some point, and the filtration process that our municipalities have aren't built to handle these problems. So we know what's in the water. We look at your water quality report for where you're at, where you're located. You know, we look at the hexavent chromium. If you've ever seen Aaron Brockovich, that's about that. We look at the amount of fluoride that they're using in your area. We look at you know, all the things that we can find on the water quality test report for your local area. And then I built a system that could handle 3 times that, because water is always moving and it's always different.
There's a difference between clean water, healthy water, and living water. we combined all three. We want to get all the toxins, heavy metals, VOCs, pharmaceuticals, all the crap, if you will, out of the water. Then we want to remineralize it, putting back the healthy minerals that have been removed. Our best product, the one that I love the best, is the PHRO 1100, and it does just that. It's pulling out all the bad stuff, the fluoride even, which is very, very toxic for the body. We're getting all of that out of the water, stripping it, cleaning it, purifying it, and then we're remineralizing it, putting the healthy minerals back in, potassium, magnesium, 60 parts per million of Himalayan salt, and just a little bit of calcium back into the water. Then we spin it, and when that does, it makes it living, breathing water. And so with that, then we alkaline it to 9.5, 9.7, and we make it an antioxidant. So instead of it being an electron stealer to the body, it's now becoming an electron donor and giving your body that active, live, living water. So it's now good water for you to drink, and it's giving your body the electrons that you need. But anyone and everyone needs healthy water. Whether you get our pH prescription water, we're going to help you to be able to find a comparable water that's at least good for you with the chemicals removed and the pesticides out of the water.
I would have to say my favorite product is the whole house system with the alkaline drinking system. I have one at home. I don't have to worry about any of the contaminants that, you know, the city puts in the water or leaves in the water. The alkaline drinking system is good for our health. I don't have to worry about that. If we lose power during a hurricane, I still have water. So I don't have to go fight the grocery stores trying to find bottled water, because I will still have clean, fresh, safe drinking water. Well water, you've got all kinds of sulfur, stinks. City water, you've got all the chlorine and contaminants that are still in the water. So with having clean water, you're not putting those contaminants into your body.
My favorite product is the PHRO 1100 because it really goes in depth on removing a lot of things from your drinking water. And it's probably the mid-priced object that we have for sale at the moment. So it's pretty much in the middle there, compared to, say, the whole house filtration system or something like that. And you just get your alkaline hydrogenated water. You get microclustered water out of it. You get to really get the full detox benefits out of it. Microclustering, basically, it's like if you have a grapefruit and you try to throw it through a chain link fence, a lot of that grapefruit is going to get left back. That's like drinking normal water. It's going to just it's going to go out of you. You don't really get to absorb it as much. With microclustered water, it's like having a handful of grapes and you get to throw it through that chain link fence, and pretty much all of them are going to get through. So that's us basically hydrating your body. We're getting through it to your body. So the benefits of microclustering would be to really hydrate the body, fully hydrate the body. And also it would help with energy levels, I believe, because if you're more hydrated, you would be more awake. It also help detox the body, help get into those cells and really clean house.
I overlook all of our product design here, and CAD and graphical interface, all the industrial machines and stuff I oversee. Put simply, instead of having to build parts from scratch and machine everything and fit it and get it all to work, I can do it all on my computer and have a digital template for everything that we need, and then go straight and design from there and save a lot of time. So there's a lot of companies that do similar work that we do, water filtration and basic drinking water needs and things like that. We really go out of our way to take it the extra step, where we're not just making clean water, we're making water that is more available to your body, it's more beneficial to your life, can even help you with more energy about your day. So we really take that extra step. Instead of just making clear water and clean, we're adding things to the water to make it more beneficial for your life. So first and foremost, we always have to worry and design about the space where the product will actually go. It's always a large concern, whether we're working in a corner of a garage or a large pump house or a mechanical room in a very large building. We have all sorts of concerns that we have there, because I can get carried away and keep adding more and more stuff that'll make the water better and better and better and all these amazing properties, but sometimes we have just limits physically on what we can do and, budget or size and things like that for the customer. So we always do our best to pack as much punch into one small device.
Since we are a smaller company, we're not like a huge corporation. So I feel once companies get to like the corporation aspect of it, they just see clients as clients. Like we see them as people that like we want to actually help and care for. We don't just brush them under the rug and, we'll get to that as soon as we can. We try to keep everyone as happy as possible and do the right thing. And there's that connection between client and our business that I feel gets lost with some companies when they start getting really big. We have doctors that we work with that I've spoken on personal levels with, and there's, like I said, that connection. It hasn't been lost.
What I love most about PH Prescription is the people I work with. We're a great team. We all help each other out. We all respect one another. I feel that I'm appreciated, and what I do, all my contributions that I bring forward are valued by Leo and Leanne.
My name is Leo Zimborski, actually the fifth. My father's the fourth, and so on. And my title for the company is really technician and assembler. I just like to really just be hands-on and make sure everything is done right, so there's no leaks. Yeah, the water management spin welder. We have a few different settings on there. We have the weld 1 and weld 2. That's for the top and bottoms of the units there. And a lot of times, if we get a good order in or whatever, sometimes we'll have a pallet of 60 that we have to make and ship them out. And I'll be back there for a while, and just spin welding them, and I just get in my zone. I just put the vortexes in, make sure they're in right, and we have a top and bottom vortex, so it'll spin one way, and then you'll think it'll spin the same way coming out. It crashes in the center, and then it spins the other way, spins the opposite way. And that really helps with also microclustering the water there for the house. And some people think that it's like a water softener. It's really not. It's just knocking out the clusters actually sometimes helps the water feel a little softer. Basically, say if we're going through making a countertop system, we have the two caps. We have the top cap and the bottom cap. The center is more of just a cylinder tube, and we also have these pads to divide each types of media. I can't exactly go into detail of what types of media we use, but we do use carbons. We do use a material that gets rid of virus, bacteria, and heavy metals. And we also use materials that help alkaline hydrogenate the water and also help microcluster the water. To know exactly what filter goes where, it's a process learning in the beginning. I was not as fast as I am now in the very beginning. I went through, quite a few days where I was like, okay, gotta make sure this goes in the right spot, And but after a while, you really get the hang of it. It's like second nature now. And just make sure you got your first filter, which is your sediment, your granular activated carbon filter in the middle, and then you have your carbon block at the end, and that'll loop up into a flow switch, which then goes to your membrane, and the membrane will filter out water that's not good. It takes out like any heavy metals, virus, bacteria, cysts, spores, anything that could really do some harm to the body. And then it gets kicked out down the drain. So only thing that can get through is water. And then it'll come out through there. It'll go through our alkaline antioxidant filter. And through there, that's when it gets hydrogenated, and that's where all the microclustering happens. And then through there, it'll go through a check valve. I believe it's the check valve that goes then back to the flow switch, and then to the taste and odor filter, which helps with the taste of everything. It's the last carbon filter that we have on the system. Quality to me, when I'm assembling a unit and then bringing it to a customer's home and installing it for them, I like to make sure that there's nothing that really stands out that could be like an eyesore or anything like that. I try to make sure I take care of all of that, make sure everything is nicely put away, that the lines aren't just hanging out, loose underneath the sink. I like to make sure everything is really nicely kept and put away. Even sometimes, if need be, we have a device where we can make sure we can keep the lines ran along the wall. And so it's not really in the way. If they have to keep anything underneath the sink there, it's not really a hassle for them at all. And something that would also be easy to disassemble and take out for when we have to change the filters.
For sure, the Aquapella shower systems, those are kind of my babies. Every one I put a lot of love and effort into, and you know, I piece them together from the first concept design on a napkin sometimes all the way to the final stage, and welding frames and doing all the beauty work on it. So like really making a product pop, everything from choosing the colors and powder coating, the engraving for controls, and then to the digital side, because we have controllers for everything. So I have an interface that I can customize, make all sorts of custom settings and background colors, screensavers, simple things like that, all the way to timers and advanced functions that control how the machine operates. So in my home, I have the whole house filtration. So I have spring-like quality water at every tap, and then I have the drinking system, so that's reverse osmosis, and it gets rid of about 99.9% of all the toxins, and it also adds dissolved hydrogen, which is a really strong antioxidant I love. I can't start my day without it. Really, I got into the design side just as a need of what I saw here. When I first started working here at PH Prescription, I was a field technician. I was running around customer to customer, private homes, and doing all sorts of busy work and keeping the company moving. And we started, between me and Leo, coming up with ideas of what could be the next, big move in our product line. What could be better than what we're already doing? How can we scale up what we're doing and make it, really something amazing? And that's when I got involved with the Aquapella system, where we took it from just a very enlarged version of our drinking system and into a huge automated machine with buttons and touch controls and all sorts of digital aspects to it. And I saw a void there, and I jumped in and tackled it. So to me, quality not only means that something is functional without issues, it also means that it's simple and to the point and effective. I could design a machine 10,000 different ways, and I could have products on the shelf that look identical to another company's products, but on the inside it could have all sorts of things that are different, and you would never know. So we really try to go out of our way to make our products stand out, not only with the different materials that we use and their functions, but even in design and the way we lay out, the way we apply what we know to the trade. We try to go out of our way with that. So the largest difference I see in our company, amongst others in the field, is that we don't only remove chlorine and oxidizers and the basic things that most companies look at. We don't just throw a water softener on every house. We actually apply, better health conscious, applications to our products, so that we're not just giving you clean water that tastes good, it actually is more beneficial for you.
So the whole house systems, the crates are usually about 70 inches tall on top of the pallet. So what I'll do initially is I'll create the system. So I'll get the tanks ready, reprogram the heads so everything's programmed, so it's just plug and play when it gets to the client. Cut all the plywood, all braces, so I'll start with bracing the unit on the bottom to the pallet, and then brace the sides up, use plywood and 1x3, and then I'll create the sides around it, create the borders, I'll put the top on, and then I'll do cross braces along that, and then I'll screw them all together with wood screws and everything like that, so everything's secure. So especially in the back of the trucks when they're shaking around and stuff and they're going across the country, you want it as secure as possible. So it's usually probably a 2-hour process. So it takes a little time, but I make sure everything's square, it looks pretty, get all the weight together, and make sure it's going to be secure for the ride to its new home.
Customer service is critical. I want to be the first person that they talk to. Being the vice president and the COO, I think that's very important, that people know that even though we are we're a small company in all relativity, but we still believe that our customers are number one, and without them we have nothing. And so we want them to be able to reach us at any time, day or night. They're either going to get us by cell phone, they're going to get us by email, they're going to get a text. I have no problem giving them out my cell phone. It's on all my cards. I am the voice on the answering machine. I am, again, the first voice that people normally hear when they call in. And I'm the emergency contact as well on our recording. So I just think that's critical, that they have the one person that they can always count on to be there. And that's why I like to try to be not only so much the face, but the voice of the company. I think it's important. I see pH prescription as blowing up, and I mean that in a good way, especially with what's happened now in this world. I mean it all in a good way. I think that we are evolving. We've got some things in our network, in our pipeline, if you will, that is cutting edge. Can't really go into it in full detail, but it's going to change a lot of lives, a lot of different aspects of water and what we can do with it and what we're able to do with it. But between just putting hydrogen in the water and making the molecules with the water smaller, there's so many things that we're going to start doing that it's going to blow people away.
Customer service means a lot. You have to have happy customers or you're not going to make it anywhere. So being able to reconnect with them, make sure that they're happy with what they have, it goes a long way.
A lot of times I go out onto job sites anywhere in the country and I will scope out, what kind of space we have, where we're working. I'll do testing on the prior water conditions there, whether they're on a well or coming from the city. I'll do all sorts of analysis on that and figure out what our end goal is. Could be anything from just having, nice filtered water to bathe in to like we specialize in drinking water, or for the shower systems, I have to know, the pH, the TDS, all the different components that's in the water that I need to remove and the most efficient way to do that to meet their goal. For most of our larger jobs, our commercial work, I do have to have a consultation so that we can better understand what their needs are is one component, but also to figure out, the most effective design to meet their needs.
Leo I love my husband to death. He is a fourth dimensional thinker. I'm only a two-dimensional thinker. I can't see where his mind goes because it's just mind-blowing to me. He's insane a little bit, but I think most people that are smart and think the way he thinks creatively has to be a little nuts. I always joke with people and I tell them that I am his handler, because if I don't keep him on a timeline, he forgets, because he's constantly evolving and going, oh, we're going here, 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 and it's like, no, we're going down this path today, or this path. So Leo's special. I don't ever want him to stop thinking and creating, because that's not his mindset and that's not going to ever happen. I would like him to slow down and take a breath and deplug every once in a while, but not today. Not today. That'll happen next week, next year, whenever.
pH prescription in 5 years, I see it taking off and skyrocketing. I can see us maybe, if not here, in another building somewhere, but maybe expanding. I can see it expanding. Maybe another pH prescription in another location as well.
It's definitely going to expand. It's just a matter of when. I truly hope and believe that one day this will grow to like a corporation size, but they're going to keep that family aspect. So that's what I'm hoping in the next 5 years.
My mind never has free time, but I have to say that I'm just happy to just be so close to everyone, because working together is awesome, because you're wrapped around this. So generally on the weekends, I'm around the same people I'm with during the week.
When we have time off, we enjoy as much as possible family and being on the water. Water is everything to us. I mean, what's better than getting vitamin D? I want to be able to relax, sit back, kick back, and enjoy our lives.